Hi everyone, welcome to the Crafty Pixie channel where we do cute little sewing and craft projects. I'm Bee. If you're new or old to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. It really means a lot. In today's video, we're making coasters. Yep, I'm tired of the water moisture rings on my coffee table, so I decided to make coasters. And since it's close to Halloween, they're Halloween themed. You can make them any theme you want. They're super easy to do. Just a few pieces of material. Great fabric buster. You can do the cute little quilted part. You can make them just solid. You can stripe them. Whatever you want to do. They're great to personalize. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Don't forget also to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. It is great motivation for me to keep making these videos. And leave a comment in the comment section down below. I love to hear from you. Without further ado, let's get to materials and get started. Okay. For this video, it's pretty simple. There's not too many items that you're going to need, but you are going to need two cotton, I prefer quilt cotton pieces of fabric cut 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And then you're going to need Peltex firm interfacing. You're going to need that at 4 inches by 4 inches. You're going to need a seam gauge or a ruler. I like the seam gauge a little bit better. Scissors, your sewing machine, your iron, and clips. So let's get started. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cotton fabric and we're going to place it right sides together. The directional print doesn't really matter right now, but what you are going to want to do just to make it a little bit easier for yourself is you're going to want to determine what is going to be the side where you are going to insert the Peltex when everything is turned right side out. I'm going to do this side because it's closest to me, and then basically what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to fold the edge of the fabric up 1/4 inch, and then you're going to iron it. That way when we turn it right side out, that seam is already there, so all you have to do is then top stitch it after everything is done. So, going to get my handy seam gauge. You don't have to use a seam gauge. You can use a ruler. You can eyeball it. It doesn't really matter. I just like to have my lines as even as possible to make it as easy as possible in the end. I tend to find that finishing off something after I, pull it right side out or something is the hardest part for me. So I try to make as many things as easy as possible for when I do it. All right. So I'm going to do it to both sides of the fabric. Now I'm just doing, 2 pieces of fabric. You can go real quilty with this. Use a lot of scrap fabrics. If you want to, you can do stripes, you can do squares, you can do a lot of different shapes with it, as long as it's 4.5 by 4.5. And at the same aspect, you can really make it any size you want. I find that the finished product, when I cut it 4.5 by 4.5, works best for the cups that we have at our house. I'm tired of seeing rings of of moisture on my on my furniture. So, all right, so we're gonna take it after we fold those sides, and then we're gonna place it right sides together. And we're gonna clip along the 3 sides. You're gonna leave this side open, but you want to make sure that this is as even as possible so that when you're done, it looks as seamless as possible. You know, like I always say, there's no such thing as perfect, but I like to try to get as close as I can. I tend to get a little OCD with lining things up. I think that's part of the reason that it takes me so long to make something, because I'm all like, no, that's not going to come out right. And I literally, you know, clip and reclip and remeasure and everything like that. And just makes it a little bit longer for me. But we are good to go here. All right, so that's all clipped together. We're gonna take this to the sewing machine, and you're gonna start at one side of our folded seam, and you're gonna back stitch really well at the beginning and at the end, and you're gonna come through and you're gonna do 1/4 or a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance all the way across. If you want, you can back stitch right at the corners as well. You don't have to, but it just reinforces it a little bit for you. And then we'll continue from there. So I'm gonna go do that and I will be right back. Okay, now that we've done that, this is what you should be looking at, or something very close to it. Our next step is we're gonna come through and we're going to clip the corners a little bit. You can clip these just a little bit. You don't want to clip any of the seams or get super, super close to the seams right here. Okay, now that that is done, next step. Sorry, that's driving me crazy. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take it and we're going to fold it right side out. And you're going to want to try to keep those corners as square as possible. If you need to, you can use a chopstick or something dull so it doesn't pierce the fabric. And just pull it all the way through. And then of course roll the seams so that they're as flat and even as possible. I never quite get the seams as squared as I would like them. They always have a bit of a bend to them. There we go, that's not too bad. All right, and then we're gonna wanna give it a good press. All right, here's that, nice and square, looking super cute already. And then we're going to take our Peltex and we're just going to slide it in. I might have to trim it up just a little bit. Sometimes that happens, sometimes you're not paying attention to the seams too well. Just come through and shave just a little bit off. We'll see how that goes. Hold on. to trim it a little bit more. There we go. It's going to be a snug fit, so you're going to have to work it in and flatten it out a little bit. But I may have not measured correctly. I'm not always the greatest with that. For some reason, nothing ever looks straight to me. Straight lines don't, even, you know, if I have a ruler and everything, they don't look straight to me. Which sometimes makes sewing a little bit difficult. All right, so there is that. Fit it in just a little bit. And it's all the way to the edge. Another thing that you can do is you can cut your seam allowance down a little bit. That'll help if you're having a hard time getting it in too. All right, so there is that. So now we're gonna go over to the sewing machine, and with a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're just going to top stitch all around the square. This is going to seal the edge that you just made, that we put the Peltex in, and it's going to make everything nice and flat and attached so you don't have anything that moves around on you. Make sure that you backstitch at the beginning and at the end. I'm going to go over and do that, and I will be right back. All right, and we are done top stitching. Isn't this the cutest thing? I told you it was easy. The last step is we're going to give it one final press just so that we lock in the seams. And you, my friends, are done. Voila! Super, super cute, very easy to do. Just make sure that you double check your measurements so you don't mess up like I did. But other than that, there you go. You can make these for any holiday. You can make them just to have them around the house in your favorite print. Super, super fun. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see ya!